Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the video on the right-hand rule. And in this video we will be talking about the direction of the cross product vector u cross v. You might remember in a previous video we talked about how to calculate this algebraically, but this is about determining kind of geometrically what direction that vector points in. Just to refresh your memory, the cross product of two vectors in R3 gives us a vector that's perpendicular to both u and v. Okay, so just to illustrate what this is all about, okay, I want to hold up a little prop here. And what you'll see here are two vectors, u and v. Notice that they're sitting in the same plane, and that plane is this sheet of paper. And actually, I'm going to turn this over so that we're looking at the front side. And the question is, where would the cross product vector u cross v be in this picture? Okay, well, if we remember that it has to be perpendicular to both u and v, that means that the cross product vector is going to be perpendicular to the sheet of paper that we're looking at. Okay, and what's interesting is that there are two vectors, or two directions we could talk about that are perpendicular to the sheet of paper. One would be a vector that kind of looks like this red pen. It just sticks up straight off the top of the sheet of paper. But there's another vector that's perpendicular to this plane, and it's back on the other side, going in the exact opposite direction, like that. And so the question we're trying to answer here is, which of those two directions does u cross v go in? Okay, well, here's where the right-hand rule comes in. To make that determination, we're going to start with the first vector, u. I'm going to take my hand and kind of align it with the vector u, and then I'm going to curl my fingers towards the vector v, this way. And notice where my thumb is pointing. It's pointing up, straight out of the piece of paper, and that tells us that's got to be the direction of u cross v. Okay, so it's pointing in the direction that this red pen is pointing in. Okay, but what if we turn that around? Okay, we could have also talked about the cross product of v with u. That's also perpendicular to both u and v. And we could ask the question, which direction does that vector point in? Okay, well, to answer that, we need to do the same thing that we just did, only we're going to start by putting our hand along the vector v this time. Okay, and we want to curl our fingers towards u, but the problem is if I put my hand like this, I can't curl my fingers backwards towards u. Okay, so what this forces me to do is to turn my hand upside down. Think of my hand as being kind of underneath the vector v over here. And if I curl my fingers towards u, notice where my thumb is pointing. It's pointing down into the sheet of paper. Okay, and that tells us that v cross u is actually on the back side of this diagram, pointing in the exact opposite direction that u cross v did.